This is the story of the Siege of Orléans, a seminal chapter in the protracted conflict known as the 100 Years' War. A war that was not just a series of battles, but a defining moment for national identities and the concept of sovereignty. The 100 Years' War, an intermittent struggle that spanned the 14th and 15th centuries, was rooted in both territorial disputes and contested royal successions. France, the most populous and affluent realm of Western Europe, clashed with England, a highly organized and integrated state. The war began over the English possessions in France and a contested royal line, which saw several generations of claimants from both nations vying for the French crown. The war's beginnings can be traced back to 1337, when the French king confiscated the English-held Duchy of Guyenne, though strife over English fiefs in France had simmered since the 12th century. This protracted conflict, marked by bitter litigation, commercial rivalry, and the plundering ambitions of both crowns, would last more than a century. It would culminate in 1475 with a truce that saw the English withdraw from France, ending the hostilities without a formal peace treaty. As we delve into the Siege of Orléans, we find France at its nadir. English forces, alongside Burgundian allies, control half the country. The English leadership, under the Earl of Salisbury, besieged Orléans with the intent of cleaving through the heart of France. The city's fall would likely have toppled Charles VII's claim to the throne, as established by the Treaty of Troyes, which recognized Henry VI of England as King of France in the regions they controlled. Amidst this siege arrives Joan of Arc, a figure who would embody the French spirit of resistance. A teenager from Lorraine, she convinced the Dauphin of her divine mission to lift the siege and crown him king. Her unlikely ascent from a peasant girl to a military leader, donned in plain armor and a banner emblazoned with saints, captivated the French and terrified the English. Joan's influence over the French troops was transformative. Her discipline and fervor brought order to an army comprised of the lowest ranks of society and mercenaries. Her presence quelled unruliness and instilled a sense of purpose among the soldiers, who became fiercely loyal to her and her divine mission. Her strategic acumen was as impactful as her spiritual leadership. Joan's insistence on an aggressive stance against the English and her miraculous entry into Orléans against the odds-bolstered French morale. The winds themselves seemed to shift at her command as she brought much-needed supplies and hope to the besieged city. In the following days, the French forces, now under Joan's influence, mounted a series of daring attacks. The English, who had fortified key positions including the Tourelles and Saint-Jean-de-Blanc, found themselves outmaneuvered by Joan's audacity and the rejuvenated French troops. The siege works that had seemed impenetrable crumbled under the renewed French vigor. The Siege of Orléans was not merely a military endeavor, it was a catalyst for the resurgence of French nationalism. Joan's role in the victory would reverberate through history, marking a turning point in the 100 Years' War. Her subsequent capture and martyrdom would only amplify her legend, galvanizing the French to ultimately drive out the English and solidify their national identity. This tale of the Siege of Orléans is one of faith, heroism, and the indomitable human spirit. It is a story that echoes through the ages, reminding us that the course of history is often changed not by the many, but by the will of the few.